The Chao Emperor channel proudly presents a special presentation of chaoracing. Our chaoracing 60th anniversary tournament special. Hello, I'm Jim Perkins and welcome to this very special program. Yes folks, for the next 6 months, we will be showing an all-star tournament from all of your favorite decades, including the very best of our 60-year career. So, while our superstars are taking a break, these all-stars will gonna show their stuff in hopes of winning $6,000 in the tournament. And then in the all-stars, very best, the winner will receive $60,000. But right now, this part will focus on the 50s and 60s all-stars. Let's start off with the 50s all-stars. And here to introduce those superstars from the doo-wop and 50s is our very own announcer, David Glassby. David, who do we have today? Well, let me tell you right now, Jim Perkins, these are the 1950s all-stars that range from 1954 to 1959. We're going to introduce the superstars, and I'm going to tell you a brief fun fact about each year. So, here we go. 1954 was the grand debut of America's favorite sports series on television. The superstars from the wonderful year 1954 are Cheryl DeLu, Keith Nunchuck, Jan Keys, Nina Lewis, Bob Lewis, Larry Arnold, and the world champion who is defending the title in that first season is Joe Pecklin. 1955 was the year we crowned our very first world champion on television. From 1955, Jimmy Kalos, the 1955 senior champion April Wingley, and the first ever world champion who won 2 straight titles, Doris Wingley. In 1956, we introduced chaoracing to its first scoreboard, which has happened for nearly 50 years now. Representing the Chao from 1956, James Lewitt, Katie Hill, Annie Cresshut, and the 1956 senior champion, Joe Leos. The year 1957 draw the first attendance of approximately 8,000 fans. Representing the Chao from 1957, Ricky Lawson, Taylor Chedley, the 1957 senior champion Joyce Lebas, and the 1957 world champion Steve Reiner. In 1958, the first medals covered in bronze, silver, and gold coloring were awarded to the first, second, and third place superstars in the World Championship that year. Representing the Chao from 1958, George Clooney, the 1958 senior champion, Will Venwell, and the 1958 world champion, Alexander Dufont. And in 1959, we celebrated our 5th anniversary, and to honor that, the first trophy was painted in a crystal silver look. Representing the Chao from 1959 are Eric Kyra, the 1959 senior champion Mr. Rickson, and the 1959 world champion Irvin Chills. And those are your 1950s all-stars. Back to you, Jim. Okay, we're gonna start our 1950s all-stars after the break. So stay tuned, the fun is just getting started. Okay, starting off the tournament, we have Vicky Lawson, James Wood, Cheryl DeLu, and the 1954 World Champion Joe Peglin. Joe Peglin was the first World Champion to defend his title back in 1954. Jim, alright, is everyone ready? Well then, good luck on the tournament. Let's have a chaorace! Okay, here we go. The winner of this tournament will receive $6,000 towards charity. Who's gonna advance to the next round? There will be 2 Chao advancing to the next round, so the 2 Chao with the best standing will move on. And number 1 is going to rest. And it looks like the first superstar to get the speed bus in the 50's All-Star tournament is Joe Peglin. And he takes the lead. And Joe Peglin is the first superstar to move on to the next round. Let's see who else is moving on. As number 2 takes the speed bus, James Lewin moves on. So James Lewin and Joe Peglin are moving on to the next round. Congratulations to these 2 superstars, and we'll see them both in a little while. Now on to the second race of the Station Square division. It'll feature 4 world champions: Steve Aslander, Urban Chills, Doris Wingley, and Alexander Dufont. Thanks to everyone on the stadium track for helping this make it possible. Back to you, Jim. Alright, so is these 4 ready to go? Well then, good luck to all 4 of you. Let's have a chaorace! Here we go. By the way, this event is sponsored by our executive proud partner Wendy's, and the race has been supervised by Sam Lewis. Let's see what's gonna happen this time. They're pushing the ball with all their might. Which 2 are going to advance to the semi-final race? We'll find out soon enough. The opening toss will be made by in just a few moments. The opening toss will be made by Doris Wingley, who is a 2-time world champion back in 55 and 56. And Doris Wingley will be back in the semi-final. And it looks like the second superstar going to the semi-final is Urban Chills. So Urban Chills and Doris Wingley and move on to the semi-finals. Well done to these 2. Back to you, Jim. Alright, stick around because coming up next is the Mystic Ruins Division Superstars. But first, a word from our sponsor. Alright, we're now in the Mystic Ruins Division, and for our Mystic Ruins Division match, we have April Wingley, Jewel Layos, Keith Nunchuck, and Vince Dorrickson. And it's off to you, Jim, to get this one started. Okay, is everyone ready to go? Well then, good luck and nice draw. Let's have a chaorace! Here we go. By the way, this episode of the 50's All-Stars is directed by Todd in the Wings and written by Alexander Gore. Just to let you know. And these superstars are often funding. Which 2 will advance to the next round to represent the Mystic Ruins semi-finalists? We'll find out soon enough. Let's see who's gonna have the opening toss in just a few moments from now. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be number 6, which happens to be Vince Dorrickson. Vince Dorrickson is at number 6, and Vince Dorrickson is moving on to the next round. Who else is moving on to the next round? April Wingley is moving on to the next round. So April Wingley and Joe Dorrickson is the first 2 Chao moving on to the Mystic Ruins semi-finals. What a deal by those guys. Now on to the next one. This time around it will feature Jan Keys, George Clooney, Jimmy Chaos, and Nina Lewis. The 2 Chao who advance in this race will go on to face April and Joe in the Mystic Ruins primary race. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and go! Let's see who's gonna move on in this race. So in this race, this is the pole course. All you have to do is to push your ball to the other side and make your way across the finish line. And you two Chao with the best standing in this race will move on to the Mystic Moon's primary race later on in the show. Let's see who's gonna have control of this match. The opening toss should be made pretty soon. Who's it gonna be? We'll find out soon enough. The first superstar to get the speed buzz is George Clooney. So George Clooney will finish in first place. He's moving on to the Mystic Moon's primary race. And let's see who else is moving on. Number 8 takes the speed buzz, and it looks like the second superstar moving on to the Mystic Moon's primary round is Nina Lewis. So George Clooney and Nina Lewis will be facing up against April Wingley and Joel Dixon in Mystic Moon's primary round. And it's back to you, Jim. Alright, the 8 carrier matches are coming up. That will happen right after the break, so stay tuned. Welcome back, and now it's time for the 8 carrier division. First up, we have Eric Kyra, Bob Lewis, Joyce Levers, and Will Vengro. And it's over to you, Jim. So good luck to all these 4 players, and let's have fun. Let's have a chaorace! Here we go, the 8 carrier first race is underway. We have 4 unique skill players from the 50s. 2 of them will be moving on to the divisional race in the 8 carrier division. But who's it gonna be? We'll find out soon enough. And in just a while, we will have a speed buzz for you. Who's it gonna be? We'll find out. The first superstar to get the speed buzz is, let's see, number 4, which happens to be Bob Lewis. And Bob Lewis got all of it and he moves on. So Bob Lewis is one of these superstars to move on. And the second superstar is number 5, which is Joyce Levers. So Bob Lewis and Joyce Levers are moving on to the 8 carrier divisionals. Well done to these 2. Now let's proceed to our second race. Here we go. This time around we have Taylor Checkby, Katie Hill, Annie Cresshut, and Larry Arnolds. Of course, the winner will go on to face Bob Lewis and Joyce Levers in the 8 carrier divisionals. So it's back to you, Jim. Alright, so are these 4 ready to go? Well then, good luck. Let's have a chaorace! Alright, final race of the opening round before we head into the divisionals. Let's see who's going to move on to face Bob and Joyce in the 8 carrier divisionals. We always like a close race every now and then. Let's find out who's going to move on to the divisional round in the 8 carrier division. Number 5 has the opening toss, which is Annie Cresshut. And it looks like Annie Cresshut will be one of these superstars to move on. There he is, all smiling with heart. He knows that he's one step closer to becoming the ultimate 50s all-star. Katie Hill was the other superstar to move on. So Katie Hill and Annie Cresshut are moving on. They're in the final spot of the opening round. And it's back to you, Jim. Alright, so the divisional round has been set. We'll be right back with the divisional round after these messages. Welcome back, folks. It is time for the divisional round. Starting off with Station Square, featuring James, Joe, Irvin, and Doris. So the player with the best standing in each divisional round will move on to the grand final. And these rounds will be held at the Amethyst course. Good luck to all 4 of you, and let's have a chaorace. Alright, here we go with the Station Square division. As Jim Pickett says, the best standing will move on to the finals. What's it gonna be this year? So, these Chao are moving straight down the rainbow path line. Alright, what's gonna happen? We'll find out. And the first superstar to get the speed burst in the divisional round is number 1. And he takes the lead from the competition. Chao is in the lead at the current moment. And number 1 is going to rest. But he gets up, keeping the lead. And number 3 takes the next speed burst, which happens to be James. Now he is in the lead at this point. But here comes number 2. He takes the speed burst and now he's tailgating James. And he's going to rest. That means number 1 will be tailgating number 3. And number 8 is getting all alone in last place, ladies and gentlemen. And Irvin Chills, the 1959 world champion, will have the next speed burst. He moves up to 2nd place. All the Chao are taking land, folks. So this should be an exciting one. The next speed burst will be belonging by number 7. And number 7 is going to rest. Irvin Chills still has the lead. And the next speed burst will be made by Joe. Joe and Irvin are battling for the lead. Number 6 needs some serious catching up to do, which is Doris. Number 2 will have the next speed burst. And he takes the lead from Joe. Number 8 and Doris both need some serious catching up to do. But I don't think that's gonna happen. It's number 1 who gets the speed burst. And that's gonna be only enough to take 2nd place. Joe has the best standing so far. Irvin Chills is 2nd on the list. And number 8 will have the next command of the speed burst. Irvin Chills trying to tailgate Joe for the best position so far. And James takes Joe away. Now he has the best position. Number 2 still is in the lead at this point. And Doris will be a miracle to get back in this one. Both Doris and number 8 are trying to catch up. But it is Doris who gets the next command of the speed burst. And it looks like number 2 is taking a nap. So is Joe and Irvin. That means, ladies and gentlemen, James is moving on to the grand final. Well done to James. And the popular Doris win week is expected to close this one out with back-to-back speed burst. So it is James Lewis who's moving on to the grand final. Okay, Jim. Well, we'll be right back with the Mr. Moon's division after this sponsor message. Alright, time for the Mystic Ruins division race. And it will feature April, Vince, George, and Nina. Let's take a look at the lineup, and it's over to you, Jim. So are these 4 Chao ready to go? Well, and good luck in the Mystic Ruins divisional race. Let's have a chaorace. Okay, so it's April, Vince, George, and Nina who will be participating in the Mystic Ruins divisional race. One of them will represent the Mystic Ruins winner in the grand final. But who is it going to be? We'll find out at the end of this race. Right now, let's worry about who gets the opening toss in this race. And the opening toss will be made by George. So he will have command of the lead. Vince is in 2nd place right now. And let's see who will get the next speed burst. It's going to be made by number 3. That is April. April is in 2nd place at the current moment. Number 8 is in last place trying to catch up with the crowd. And the next speed burst will be made by number 2. He only got enough for 3rd place. But he is in the top 3. let's see if any of the Chao are heading towards the water. As Nina will have the next command on speed bus. I see number 7 is heading towards the water. And number 8 with the speed bus. He also is in the water. Number 8 has the advantage so far. Number 1 needs some serious gassing up to do, and he gets it. And he's back in this one. And it looks like Nina is going west. That will give the other superstars some time to catch up. And George with the next command of speed bus. That was a good jump right there. Number 8 is in the lead, and number 7 should have second place right there. George is in the best position so far, with 3rd place of the 8 superstars. As we head back to number 1, he got to another speed bus, and now he's battling George for 3rd place, trying to get a spot in the top 3. Vince is getting all alone in last place, but he gets the speed bus, and he's still in this one. George still has the best position, but he's getting tailgated by number 1. What's gonna happen? They're crawling up the hill right now. This could change in a matter of minutes, folks. Next speed bus belongs to April, who's currently battling Nina for 6th place. Number 2 is in last place, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't need all the help he can to stay in the game. And number 8 will get 1st place. April got back-to-back speed bus, and number 7 will finish in 2nd. And it looks like George is going to hold on to move on to the grand final. George is the winner of the Mystic Ruins divisional race. So he will face off against James and the A-Carrier divisional winner. Right, Jim? That's right. He will be facing up against James and then the A-Carrier divisional round. The A-Carrier divisional round winner, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing it right. But anyway, the A-Carrier divisional round will return after this. Alright, it is time for the A-Carrier matchup. And it will be between Bob, Joyce, Katie, and Andy. The winner will go on to face James and George in the 50's All-Stars Grand Final. So let's see who's gonna face these two. Right, Jim? Right, you are. These Chao are ready, so good luck to all 4 of you. Let's have a Chao race! Here we go! Final divisional race before the Grand Final, and it'll focus on the 8-Carrier division. Yes, only one of those Chao will move on to the Grand Final. Will it be Bob, Joyce, Katie, or Andy? We'll find out soon enough, folks. These Chao are running down the rainbow path, trying to get some going in the early one, and in just a few moments we will have our opening toss for this race. The first superstar to get the speed bus is in fact number 8. And he takes the lead at the current moment. The superstar with the best position so far is Joyce, followed by Andy. And the next speed bus will be made by number 7. Now he is in the lead at the current moment. Number 1 is all alone in last place, folks. And it looks like he won't get any speed bus sometime soon. Will he? No. Katie gets the next speed bus. Yeah, Katie. The very popular Katie Hill. And number 2 is heading for the water. Will it pay off? And number 1 finally gets some help. He moves up a couple of places. He was in last place. Now he moves up to 4th. And Joyce is going to rest. And it looks like Bob will have the next command of speed bus. And Katie is going to rest. That'll get Bob command on the best position. And he's going to rest. And another Chao is sleeping. As Andy will have the next command of the speed bus. He now has the best position. And it's number 4 who is all alone in the last place. That happens to be Joyce, ladies and gentlemen. But Bob is the next star to have his speed buzz, and he almost fell off track. Do you see that? Anyway, he has the best position so far again. Number 2 has the lead at this current moment, and he's doing quite well. Joyce gets some help finally, and now he's in 3rd place. But she still needs to catch up to Bob if he wants to get to the grand final. And number 8, desperately needed help, gets a speed boost. Now he is in 3rd place, and he's tailgating Bob for 2nd. The other 3 superstars need to hurry if they want to get back in this one. Who's going to get the next speed boost? It's going to be Annie who gets the next speed boost. And he's tailgating Bob. Number 1 will be a miracle if he wants to get back in this one, but let's get back to Andy. He now has the best position so far, but it's still pretty close. Number 2 will take 1st place. And it looks like the winner is moving on. It's Andy who's moving on. He edges out Bob for the best position of that race. So Annie will be facing off against James and George in the grand final. What a fight to the end, Jim. That's right. So it's James, George, and Annie who will be facing off in the grand final. The grand final is coming up next, so don't go away. We'll be right back. So your 3 finalists in the 50's All-Stars tournament are James Wood, George Clooney, and Annie Cresshut. They represent the divisional winners from each division, and this race will be held on the Sapphire course. So Jim, it's over to you to start the race. Alright, so the final time in this tournament, are those 3 ready to go? Yes, we are. Well then, good luck to all 3 of you. Let's have a chaorace! Alright, the final match is underway. Who's gonna win the $6,000 check for charity? This week's charity is the March for Dimes, a popular program helped to fight cancer. So James Wood is at the number 3 position, George Clooney is at the number 4 position, and Annie Cresshut is at number 5. Remember, the best position of this race will determine the 50's All-Stars Best of the Best of this tournament. George Clooney will have the opening toss. That means he will have command of the lead. Annie Cresshut is tailgating number 7 for 2nd place. And who's going to have the next speed buzz? It's going to be James Wood, who was tailgating Annie Cresshut. Now he's tailgating George Clooney for the lead. These 4 Chao are getting all alone behind the pack. Number 2 needs some serious catching up to do, but it's number 7 who got the next speed buzz, and he leads the pack now. These 4 poor Chao are still left behind as we headed to Annie. Annie Cresshut is now in 2nd place. That's followed by George Clooney in 3rd and James Wood in 3rd place. Number 7 has the lead, but he's going to rest. That means Annie Cresshut will have command on the lead, George Clooney will get 2nd, and James Wood will get 3rd. Meanwhile, number 8 gets a speed buzz. And number 2 is still left behind on the pack. And he got some help. And he moves up a couple of places. These Chao are climbing up the wall. Annie Cresshut is going to rest. And so is George Clooney. What's gonna happen? Annie Cresshut takes a speed buzz. And his lead has increased, but it can still change in a matter of minutes. Number 6 is going to rest, and he's all alone in last place. And number 7 leads for a 2nd time because he got a speed buzz. George Clooney and James Wood still have some catching up to do. And number 6 only had enough speed buzz to move up 1 spot. Number 1 is now in last place. And he needs some serious catching up to do. But it's number 2 who got the next speed buzz. Now he moves up a spot. He's now in 5th place at the current moment. Number 7 is back in last place, ladies and gentlemen. Will he hold on to the lead this time? We'll find out soon enough. Eddie Crescent has the best position so far. And number 1 didn't get all of it to stay in the game. Eddie Crescent can see the eyes of the prize at the current moment, as the next B-Bus will be made by number 6. But he did get all of it just like number 1. Looks like George Clooney won't have enough distance to catch up to win the tournament. Number 7 takes first place, so it will go to the second place superstar, which is Eddie Crescent from 1956. So Eddie Crescent will donate $6,000 towards charity. And James Wood will take second, and George Clooney will take third. So it's Eddie Crescent with second place, who wins the 50's All-Stars tournament here on chaoracing. So your first star of the tournament is none other than George Clooney. The second star of the tournament, James Wood. And the first star of the tournament and this week's 50's All-Stars Superstar of the Year, Eddie Crescent. Congratulations! He will be donating $6,000 towards the Marshall Times charity. A splendid well done to Eddie Crescent. And that's it for the 50's All-Stars tournament. Join us next week as we present the superstars from the 1960s. But for now, keep on smiling and we'll see you next week.